sometimes the yardstick that women use to measure men is kind of like off balance a little bit.
In order for me to say, yes, my Lord, you got to say, yes, my Lordess.
Oh, come on.
It has to be interchangeable.
And extend that, the term man means master, able, and noble, but it applies towards him mastering himself.
Once a man has established his foundational strengths and wisdoms and purpose with God, and God has blessed him with a woman, we want women to understand that men become their Lord at that point.
They what?
Their Lord. And what I mean by their...
Hold on, I wasn't here.
We are going to talk about what men want women to know and what women want men to know or understand, because the men are already here. And we're going to ask the men to come over here, and the ladies will come back there with you, Belinda. And
We're not their man.
I think that should be number one.
I was gonna say
They
yeah.
need to be prayerful. They need to have a connection with something bigger than themselves, to understand.
Are God's man.
Okay.
And He's put us in position to do work. And He's allowed us the blessing and the benefit of having women to help us with that.
Hey, that goes for you too. So nobody can say, well, he did this to me and he did that to me. You let him do that to you. So this is a two-way thing.
because you have to, when you're in a relationship, one of the important things is you have to find people who are friends with that relationship, not just you, but the relationship.
Not only that, but I want them to understand that it's a blessing when a man has been rewarded to have a woman. Help him on his journey. That's a blessing because that has shown that God has accepted your growth as a man within well enough that He has positioned you with a helpmate.
A lot of times they don't get to the root of the problem. They arguing, they saying petty little stuff to each other on the surface and not really getting to the root of what's really bothering each other.
Once God has given the permission and the blessing of a woman to accommodate a man, help a man, he then becomes her Lord.
That's kind of highly esoteric. I don't think some of them could understand that.
I believe they should have a forgiving heart. I do. I really do. I feel they should have a forgiving heart. And they don't. A lot of them don't. They hold your feet to the fire. They, it's like you scar them, it's the end of the world.
That you become master over those things that'll make you or break you. Now, women tend to measure men if he's a provider, if he does these things economically, but there are other attributes that comes into play where man can, if he's economically supported, providing all that, he's also psychologically supported, morally supported. Why not use those qualities? Sometimes women, the yardstick that they use to measure men is kind of limited because this society don't depict what a true man is about to begin with.
And like you said, that comes with that baggage, and they bring that into the next relationship.
See, that's where it needs to stop. When you come into something,
Forgiveness.
we both got baggage. You had a life before this.
First one off to war and in the grave. Men don't cry, men don't do this. When men do a lot of those things is that women do, So, as far as feelings and emotions, being in touch with their true self, so it narrows down to how are women measuring men to begin with, when a lot of times it's just through their, I mean, I ain't saying all women, but through their vanity, how they're measuring themselves. You know, that they have power over men, that they call all their senses into play with their beauty. But sometimes a man wants a virtuous woman that, you know, similar to their mothers, how they go out, you know, with the respect, you don't show all this, you don't show all that. They say a virtuous woman is hard to come by. So it's like, what are the expectations that men are looking for and women are looking for that somehow do you have those going on in yourself that is secure, that you, when men fall short of this, you don't go to blaming, you know, one or the other, because your yardstick to measure is kind of faulty to begin with.
Should we have expectations?
That's another question, because I'm sorry.
I think that should be number one.
I was gonna say
They need to be prayerful. They need to have a connection with something bigger than themselves.
How are women measuring men? Here you're measuring them. If you don't have the money, I ain't looking for no gold digger. Well, you are looking. You know, that's got to be secure. This got to be secure. But to find a woman that'll take you when you have and when you don't have, this unconditional love, just like a mother's love, that's a rarity. Somebody gonna love you for you. That's almost like, and that's what human beings are wanting. You know, a non-patriotic attitude. You know, don't. You know, just be real, and we use that term. You know.
And somebody had to tell me, because I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, okay. But the thing is, you got to set limits. 3 strikes you out and get out. Keep your word, or whatever
Right.
boundaries you set up. You got to keep
Clear
it
boundaries.
moving.
Put that down.
This is on the regards of a man in a relationship, a long-term relationship, like a marriage, that they should keep it fresh. Don't get complacent.
And as we were saying, there's a lot of wounds that we all carry from each other, from our family, from the society. And how do we work through that?
So first thing we stated was that we would like for men to understand that they need to pray and that they must seek God sincerely. Because if you are in touch with your spirituality, there is a certain way that you will live your life, and that it is necessary to come to the table with a sense of spirituality before you approach a female.
So our first one went along the line with exactly what you all said. What we said it in a different way though. Okay. We want women to understand that men.
Don't laugh around it.
Well, see, there was a way that we had said it, and then there's a way that it should be explained in the area in which it's being spoken, so that there is not a misunderstanding of what is being said.
Okay.
Okay? Women need to really understand that man belongs to God. And that
You can't comment on this yet. You gotta hold it.
and that God bless a man by allowing a woman to come and help him with his duty that God has sent him on in life to do. But the main core is man really has to really work better on his relationship and being more connected with God in order to be any kind of good to himself, God, or woman. So men belongs to God is something that we want women to understand more than anything.
Thank you very much. No comments yet. Gotta hold it.
Because if
No, gotta hold it.
just said
No,
going
you gotta
on,
write it
then,
down. No,
well, then isn't the man's place to provide whatever the woman
we're not gonna answer it.
whatever the woman doesn't is lacking if he's a guy, if he's a man that's a guy, right?
We're gonna discuss
Isn't he
after.
supposed to provide?
Okay, Nyla, say the second thing.
We're talking about
That will make a man a guy?
absolutely number 2. positive communication, interactive, interchangeable, meaning back and forth communication, time and designation. So designate a time, be specific and structured for a conversation that needs to be had. So not when someone's extremely emotional, not in front of the children, not while someone's playing on a phone or watching a game.
Our second one is more down the line, in which the sister was just raising her point. And it was, once a man has established his foundational strengths and wisdoms and purpose with God, and God has blessed him with a woman, we want women to understand that men become their Lord at that point.
They what?
Their Lord. And what I mean by their...
Hold on, I wasn't here when I said it.
Hold on. Don't run. Hold on, let us unpack it.
Okay,
unpack it. Come on,
Go ahead,
unpack it. Let him unpack it.
Right.
Because the thing is this. A man is to be a provider and a supporter and an empowerment for his woman. So when a woman has things that she wants, needs, and desire, a man should have those things accomplished or positioned in a way that he can fulfill her desires and her requests based on him going to his Lord and asking his Lord for that guidance, so that I can make sure that I can accommodate my wife with those things that she wants and be her everything for her. So therefore, a man will become a woman's Lord.
Almost like
if
a father
he's
giving
in
away their child. Even though
Hold up
he-
now.
Right,
Hold up now.
right. Don't try to get
Back
All
up,
I'm
girl.
saying is this. When a man is in his proper state, based on what God has for men to be, which are healers, love, we accelerate to a point to where we can provide things. And that's where you have earned the position for having a woman. So when a woman comes to a man to ask for things, that man's duty is to provide for her.
Did y'all say all that together? This
Well, I mean,
Okay, you
No,
said
no.
provide for her
You are too
or
open.
teach her to
Yeah. Although this
to
is
provide
this is
with
one
you.
that we would like to, we're gonna hold our comments. Write it down.
Yes, baby. Yeah, write that down. Can I just put his number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Nyla,
Okay.
because we're gonna have discussion,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen.
We gotta get
Yeah,
there.
we going back to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
3.
So,
Yeah.
number 3, the female has a strong desire for the male to be honest, not lie, not a creative truth, or not leaving out very important key parts of information concerning very important things. Strive for openness, and we will be understanding that trust takes time to build. So it is hard to always have that trust and that openness to be able to say, okay, yes, I broke the land, but go ahead and saying it instead of saying, oh no.
Tell the truth.
I love that one, because we're going to go back to that one. That's number 3, right?
Yes.
All right, so we can help y'all with that one. All right, so yes.
All right.
Because, yes, we can help you guys with that one. So as far as number 3 on our list is, our number 3 was the element of that we want women to understand from a man, is that we have to get back to our systems of courtship when it comes to selecting a mate. Instead of a woman deciding to say, I like this guy, and it's her desires for her personal self, go to your family and allow your family to help you to identify if this is going to be a good relationship and this is going to be a good way for us to bring our families together in marriage, oppose making the decision based on your own personal desires and what your own wants are. Learn to make decisions as a community with your family, because your family is going to be impacted based on the relationship you're about to get involved in. So if the guy is an idiot and he's beating all on you, your family's going to be upset about that. So it's important that if you sat with your family, they can probably see those things that you don't see because you like the guy already. So the thing is courtship, establishing and really relying on your family in the process of courtship before you desire or allow him to enter you or you accept being a part of him.
What if you could?
Come on, man. No.
Parenting styles would be like, oh, and right to the grandmother,
Do you
Write it
have the
down.
right to keep speaking? We
I
can
know
do
it's
it.
hard.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
just saying. What if
Number
you
4.
She's not gonna do it again.
All right,
No,
thank
I'm
you.
just saying.
Nyla?
parenting
So
styles,
number
right?
4 is
Children
let
can't talk to their parents.
not so basically let your guard down. If there are serious issues that are happening, don't just shut down like completely and not communicate. Like let your guard down enough to be open to resolve an issue.
Okay, number
We can
4.
go.
What's your number 4?
Our number 4 was we want women to know that when entering in a relationship, an approved relationship with a man, to really understand the capacity of building, meaning he's not complete when she gets him. He may still need some things that require her input to make him a stronger man or make them a stronger couple. So what we have is marriage is business. You have to work at it to see great outcomes. You have to put certain work in order to make the success of what your desired goals are with this gentleman working together will become. So it may take a little work on your side to help him in areas in which he hasn't perfected yet. So that's something that we would want women to understand.
Yeah, we clear on that.
Yeah,
Number 5.
because that goes back to,
Yeah, 'cause
okay.
we got that one too. We got that one.
Thank you.
Yes.
Number 5, Nyla? What was that, number 6?
Thank you.
This is number 5.
Number 5.
Thank you.
Understand that each party is vulnerable. So like for us as women, we have to understand that you all are vulnerable. You may express it in a different way than we do. And we are vulnerable. And we express our vulnerabilities in a different way. And that everybody needs some type of healing. And that males need to understand the role of the female in this, that they are maybe more emotional or things of that nature, but that, or nurturing, so that our characteristics are for a purpose and that you all's are for a purpose.
Okay.
We wanted women to understand teamwork from a man, operating as a unit, united front, unity, keeping your business as a personal business as a family to yourself and between yourself, being this is a scripture. A man should be able to cover his woman like clothing, as a woman should cover her man like clothing. And everyone shouldn't see what's up under your clothing, you know, only is for you. So discussion from both parties, making sure that you all come to a resolve in a way that you all are relating with each other. You are one. You have already won when you are one. So if you understand that you are one, then that means you've already won, because that's the solidarity that's needed for you all to manifest success.
Realistic expectations when you walk into a relationship with a female, or realistic expectations of your family, and the purpose of the roles. And knowing the roles may be different for different people as times change. Next one, beware of outside influences. Who are you speaking to about your relationship? Seek a mentor, a true mentor, someone who is a friend of the relationship and not just a friend to you. Know that everyone is bruised.
Taking this is, I like what he said about establishing courtship and allowing your family to assist with that.
Okay.
Making a decision as a whole. I like that a lot.
Okay.
And I do that.
I wrote it down. I like it so much.
Okay, okay. Melinda?
What I took away from this very lively discussion wasn't just one thing. It was a number of things, but I can't state it right now.
Okay.
I just like the energy that was here,
Okay.
and the respect.
Okay. So you like the energy and the respect. And when we ask one thing, we know that by the grace of the Lord, you all get a lot more than one thing, but just the thing that kind of stands out or something you can share at the moment. Okay. All right.
Well, what I take from it today was I learned a lot more about men, because I think they lie and not honest and deceitful, but I see another side, and that comes to kind of relationship I just got out of, but not all men are like that, and I just saw another side today, and it was good. Take it out with me.
Thank you, Margaret. All right, our own Teresa.
Communication is key.
Okay. Nyla?
I learned that there should be more of these type of intentional, purposeful dialogues between males and females on a larger scale, starting from a younger age and on a community basis.
Yeah, very.
You set that up.
Meeting people in adult conversation is key.
Meeting people in adult.
Yeah, that's more important to me than communication. Conversations are more conversations, and meeting people instead of having an automated phone and you get a computer recording, and it's like, okay, that's not conversation and meeting people and you know, showing that, you know, human beings exist instead of being computerized. Just
Men are not complete. Men are not complete. But men won't accept my help, our help, to help them get where they need to be.
Come on, Sister Belinda.
I'm not complete. It has to be interchangeable.
Yes.
In order for me to say, yes, my Lord, you got to say, yes, my Lordess.
Oh, come on.
It has to be interchangeable.